So on the board, I have drawn a sample of what a student planner looks like. The very first column has the days of the week, and then each column is a heading for each of their classes. And they would record the assignments due for a class on each day. So specifically what I want to explain is how to create a study plan. So over in columns 7 and columns 8, I'm having the students write down their activities and their commitments each day, whether it's a sporting event, it's a doctor's appointment, or a family commitment or obligation. It goes in this column on each day. Then, at the end of the school day, they're going to make a plan for what they intend to do at home to study. And this is a great example. So I'm going to make a study plan for what this student would do Monday night for work that is due on Tuesday. So I start by first going to the very first column to see what is due. It happens to be English, and there's a vocabulary quiz. Then I look at the history. That's the next thing that's due. That's a section assessment. This student has a quiz in science, if they have Mr. Steely as a teacher, and there's some pre-algebra homework. Now, I did not go through and chart the homework for the various electives because we have 4 different languages: Chinese, French, Spanish, and Latin. So there would be other homework entries in this column for your student. But the study plan looks like this. You start by writing the letter of the class that you know you have work for. So E is for English, and I'm writing the word quiz. Then I look down the column and I see that I have history, and I have the 2.4 section assessment. So I'm just going to write 2.4 SA. Then next I have science, and that is also a quiz. And then the last thing I have is pre-algebra, so I'm going to write M for math, and I'm going to write HW, which just stands for homework problems that I have due that night. So I look at each one of these, and I guess how much time I want to spend studying tonight on each of these subjects. So first I say, okay, I have an English vocabulary quiz. I'm going to study for that for 20 minutes. So I write the time that I'm guessing it will take. My history section assessment has questions and flashcards. That could take 40 minutes, so I'm just guessing that it's going to take that long to do history. My science quiz, I want to study for 20 minutes for that. And last, my homework problems. Based on the number of problems that I have due, I think it's going to take me 15 minutes to do that. So in this very last column, I want the students to actually total what they estimate their study time will be tonight. So they basically go straight down, 20, 40, so that's 60 minutes, 80 minutes, that's 95 minutes, which equals 1 hour and 35 minutes of study time that they need to plan. And because they're writing down what their after-school activity is, they need to then make a decision about when they think they're going to do this hour and 35 minutes worth of homework. In this example, I would have water polo tonight at 7:15, so I would probably try to do all my homework before I went to water polo, but I also maybe have to have dinner as well. So if I don't get through it all, at least I know I need to start before water polo and maybe do a little at the end of the evening. The next thing I need to do is prioritize what order I should do this work in. Now, my quizzes are important because quizzes and tests always are, but this section assessment for history is actually something that's really hard to do, and it's a big portion of the grade. So I might choose to prioritize that as number 1. Then I would probably study for my quizzes, and vocabulary is harder for me than science, so I'll do it in that order. And then last, I would do my math homework. So this, by giving it a number, it says what priority or what order I plan to do my homework in. So I'm going to first start with history, then I'm going to move to English, then I'm moving to science, and then I'm moving to math. Then at the very end, I just want to record how much time I actually spent. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just for the student to get familiar with how long things take, because all of our students are really busy with a lot of activities, and they always think things are going to take less time than they actually do. So let's say that all that homework actually took 2 hours and 10 minutes to do, and that's fine. There's, like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, but this is going to help them plan for the future the next time that they know they have this amount of homework. So the next thing I want to say really quickly is I'm going to scan back over to the other side of the board, and the 7th graders have been given an English reading assignment. So they're reading these science fiction books, and there's 4 different choices, and there's different criteria for each book. How many pages they're supposed to read each day, and how many pages for a journal entry. But what the students are learning is that if they need to read 120 pages in this book this week, and they only have 4 nights to do it because their written work for this reading is due on Friday, then they need to read 30 pages per day in order to make that, to manage that amount of reading. So over here in the study plan, we're going to come back to the study plan column, and each day this student's going to predict that they're going to read their 30 pages, and that's going to take them 20 minutes. So I want the students to get used to breaking, even though this is not due until Friday, they're going to plan to do a little bit of their reading each day so that when Friday comes or Thursday night comes, they don't have to catch up on all of their reading. So that's the basics of how you create a study plan each day. It only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to actually do these 2 pieces, but they're really crucial in helping the students kind of see what they have to do and what time they have available to do it in.